Welcome to the Press Row Show, the number one rated pregame, intermission, postgame show this side of the Mississippi, south of the Arctic Circle, north of the equator, and west of Nigeria. Welcome on in. The gang is back together. Ant is here. Intern Andrew on the ones and twos. That beautiful man on the end. Chris Therien. Bundy is back tonight.
So let me ask a question.
What?
So there was a comment in the chat that just said, Intern Andrew is here.
Yeah.
Did you type that or did he type that?
Somebody was asking who was at the show so far. So I typed in, Russ is here, Bundy is here, Intern Andrew is here, and I bought you some time, and then you ended up showing up, and so we're good.
Okay. I didn't know if it was him doing it himself or you doing it.
He didn't go rogue.
Because
he knows better.
if it was him, it would be like the equivalent of saying Kilroy is here, right? You don't know that reference, do you?
And we've already gone off the rails.
Okay.
Welcome in. Flyers Blues tonight. We have a lot to get into. I don't know how much you want to reflect on last night, or if maybe one of the intermissions is a good time or whatever.
No, I think pregame is probably the best time to do it because we're going to have stuff from the game to talk about during the intermissions.
I would unbelievably highly recommend that if you have not done so already, you take some time during the game today, mute the TV, and go pull up Snow the Goalie from last night on YouTube, Facebook, X, or on your favorite podcast app. We had Frank Saravalli on for the second half of the show, live from Chickies and Pete's in the Northeast on Roosevelt Boulevard. And next week we are at Parks Casino. So make sure you carve out a little bit of time.
On a Tuesday night.
Tuesday night, 6 p.m., Chickies and Pete's, Parks Casino. Come on out and hang out with us next week. Now, anyway, Frank Saravalli came on the show, and we had the intention of talking to him about this Flyers team, probably about Dan Vladar, how the team is being viewed across the league. And he started off, we started off friends. It was cool, but it was all pretend. Yeah, since you've been gone, Frank Saravalli. He came back on. And you get that song lyric reference, did you?
Yes, thanks.
And so we then got into the rebuild, and that is where Frank Saravalli really took us to a place we did not expect to go, but it is a place that people have been very much intrigued by on social media, including people who typically don't like our show, tweeted out today. As much as I hate to give them credit, go listen to the show and listen to what Saravalli had to say about the rebuild. I will hand it off, a little handoff.
Well, I mean, you said you weren't expecting that. I mean, I've heard Frank talk on his own shows for a while now, basically saying what he said last night. So it's not a surprise to me that he said it. And it's fine. Listen, Frank makes a lot of good points, and he's not wrong to look at it from that perspective. He's just not.
I guess we should probably give the perspective. Saravalli's big issue with the rebuild right now, just to give people context who haven't seen it yet, but again, you should go back and listen to it, is that in the midst of this rebuild, the Flyers do not have a discernible number 1C, number one defenseman.
Correct.
And while he might acknowledge maybe as Pregame is in the pipeline as a number one goalie, he said that of all the things, that's maybe the one that's the easiest to try to plug and play.
Correct.
So his issue really is with the lack of a 1C and a 1D, and the fact that the team has so many wings, and that really kind of took us down the path of Trevor Zegras and whether it's a good idea to go to, term and deal with Zegras, especially if he's a wing.
And this is where the only place that I will disagree with Frank, because everything Frank said is right. I'm in 100% agreement. They don't have a number one center. They don't have a number one defenseman. Those things, and you need those things to ultimately be a championship caliber team. There's no question about it. Where I disagree with Frank is that they can't take what they have a glut of and improve it that way, like via trade. Like, I do believe you still can, because you do have players, and you don't think they're worth as much as I think they're worth, and as much as Frank thinks they're worth. And he did say that. He did say that they are very good support players on a championship team.
Tippett and Konechny.
Speaking specifically of Tippett and Konechny, because those were the two that you brought up. Even Sanheim, I think, got into the conversation in one of those conversations as well. But the point is that he was saying, they should have traded them, or they could have traded them before. And the reason that they don't, right, is because you're going into each of those draft years, maybe the exception of the year that they drafted Luchenko. But you're going into the Mishkov draft year, and you're going into last year, the Martone draft year, thinking you're going to probably draft a center at the spot that you're picking.
Yeah.
They were not expecting Mishkov to fall to 7, and he did.
Yeah.
So they pivoted and went with a winger. They were not expecting Martone to fall to 6, but he did.
And they very clearly didn't like Hagens, because if they did, Hagens was there.
And they pivoted and went to a winger. So what I'm saying to you is that it doesn't. I don't think it changed their plan, except for the fact of now it's like, okay, now we have all of this capital on the wing.
Yeah,
we're going to have to use that to trade for the centers that we want.
The last real legitimate number one center to be traded was Jack Eichel.
Yeah, it's not. Look, it's.
I'm like that's what like Bundy. Can you think of anybody off the top of your head? A number one center, number one defenseman that was traded. I think it was Eichel, and that was because of the surgery, right? It was the disc replacement surgery, and that he and Buffalo had a falling out about it.
Right, and then he ended up going to Vegas.
Yeah, and then
but he was kind of like beating up goods at the time, though. They weren't sure what his future would even be.
Reinhart was also traded by Buffalo, but he wasn't a 1C at the time, and
he developed into
he developed into one. That was another trade from Buffalo.
Yeah.
So really, the only team dumb enough to trade a 1C in the past decade has been Buffalo. Number one defenseman. Can we think of anybody? Pietrangelo was Pietrangelo a free agent signing?
He was a free
agent signing by Vegas from St. Louis. I think that is where the crux of the argument and the issue is. And listen, you and I can disagree about how valuable is Owen Tippett? How valuable is Travis Konechny on the market? I think the question that people have, and that Frank very clearly has, is even if those guys are valuable, do any of them add up to a piece that you're able to convince another team to trade you a 1C? Because the only other options you have are free agency, 2026, man, when it comes to centers, off the board, right? And then it's the draft. Now, on one hand, if you wanted to go back into tank mode where I've lived for the last few years with the rebuild, I would say to you, well, hell, 2026 free agency is over, man. Time to pivot and just race to the bottom. But I don't think they're doing that. So, for better or worse, I don't think they're going there. So I guess, Ant, the question is, those guys that they have that glut of wing, how do you get to a 1C or a number one defenseman with what they have? I
always believe to find a number one defenseman, you try to get one in free agency or you have to draft one.
Yeah.
But they currently, as they're constructed, Sanheim is somebody put here. He's a number one defenseman here.
He's not a number one.
But he's not a number one defenseman.
Yeah. He could be a top pair. I think we get
top pair, yes.
Top pair guy, which is good. I mean, in fairness, back when Danny initially took over, was it? No. Yes. No.
They were going to trade him to St. Louis.
They were going to trade him to St. Louis.
He was gone, basically.
The deal was done.
The deal was done, yeah.
Krug wouldn't waive the no movement clause.
Correct.
I would say that of all the people that we've maybe gone back and forth battling about over the last few years, Sanheim by far is the guy that has proven the most people wrong and has developed into the guy that I think we all kind of hoped he would. I think he is at he's in a class of his own from that standpoint. Some of these other guys I'm not so sure. But I guess, so back to this, is there a way, Ant, with all these wings, how do you kind of put together a trade that gets you back that number one center, that number one defenseman, or somebody who's maybe a Reinhart that could develop into that guy?
Well, what you do is you have to you don't know the answer to that question because you have to wait and see where teams are, right? Take a look at the Toronto Maple Leafs, for example. I'm not saying that the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to trade anybody away, right? But they're having a really bad season. Now Matthews is hurt. Who knows how it's going to go, right? Do they, at some point during the year, look at it and say, hey, we have to blow this up and start over? Right now, they're not saying that, but maybe that happens. And then you sit there and go, okay, there's a team that we can take advantage. We could try and get somebody there. I'm just throwing that out as a arbitrary example, right? But you can have teams be in that position where all of a sudden they decide, hey, we need to start over.
Yeah.
We don't like where we're at. We don't like our cap position or where we're at. We're going to start over and we're going to make our really good players available. At that point, maybe you trade a couple of young wingers and another prospect or a draft pick or something like that, and you go and get a guy, right? You don't know. So the answer, I'm not going to sit here and start throwing projected names at you because you just don't know who those guys are going to be. But that's really it. I mean, that's the only other way to do it. But what I guess my argument here is that just because they haven't traded these guys in the past doesn't mean they still can't get value for them. Is what I'm trying to say to you.
You're talking about Konechny and Tippett, those kind of guys.
Yes, those kind of players. Those kind of players can still get you something.
Yeah, I mean, let me clear.
How many playoff games has Konechny played here? Can anyone answer that?
So he was on the 2018 team against Pittsburgh, so that was 6 games.
Yeah.
The Islanders one was 7. The Canadians one was 6, and then do you
answer
count the round robin as playoff games in 2020?
No.
All right, so 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 7 is 19.
He's played because I was going to say the 1920 season, that was 16 games, so it's 22 technically.
Yeah, but that round robin.
But
the round robin doesn't count.
Okay, so take that out. He's still at almost 20 games.
Yeah, but here's the thing. And other than the bubble, they didn't have a shot in the other playoffs. Like 2018 against Pittsburgh, they weren't beating Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
right. They weren't winning that series.
Right. Pittsburgh won the cup that year.
Right. It just wasn't going to happen. So like, the bubble was really the only time that he's been part of a playoff team that had a chance to win the series they were playing. And they won the first one, and then they lost in 7 to the Islanders.
Yeah.
And they gagged it in Game 7. Like, that was as bad.
One of the worst games I've ever seen this team play.
Yeah, awful. Just awful. But that's it. So, yeah, no, he's not played in the playoffs other than that.
But he's been here a long time.
Yes.
Yeah, like both guys have been here a long time with very, very few playoff games. And that I know Coots had more games played earlier in his career than he has later in his career for playoff appearances.
He was a rookie in the great series against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Right? That's with the Giroux shift and everything else. Yeah, like that series was unbelievable. And Coots was an 18-year-old rookie in that series. Yeah.
So I want to take this conversation and kind of pivot it to the team that's on ice. Because, like, look, regardless of where you're at, right, and I know there are a lot of people out there that are still upset that this is not a tear the whole thing down. I think the second that this team decided to move on from Torts last year and they were going to bring in a coach, and it wasn't like a guy that you haven't really heard of before. The second that they went and hired Tocchet, it was pretty clear to me, like, they were not entertaining another year of the rebuild. I would actually say, real quick, I would say the thing that kind of threw this whole thing into disarray was Mishkov coming over early. I think they probably would have been able to get away with like a tear it almost all the way down had he not come over a year or a year and a half early. The second that he came over and his ELC started, you're kind of donezo. Like you couldn't have done it all the way to the studs.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't even think that they would have gone all the way to the studs because, again, and I've said it bazillion times, it takes a decade when you do that. It takes a decade to get good when you go down to nothing. And there have been a lot of failures. Like, even the teams that succeeded, it took them a decade. But then there were a lot of teams that did it and failed. So that is a gamble that you are, and there was no desire in this organization, and I don't think there would have been a desire in this city, including the fans that are out there complaining still today, to be bad for a decade and have no guarantee that on the other side of that you were there.
So I mean, I guess technically, like, what, it worked for Colorado, Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh a while ago, But think about Pittsburgh. Think about what Pittsburgh's situation was. They got super lucky.
Yeah, they did
because of the way that they did the lottery coming out of the lockout. Yeah,
but the Flyers, as somebody said, the Flyers have been doing this for a long time now. Anyway, we're almost at a decade.
It's the half measures, and that I think is the fair point. Is that, Ant, you're totally right. In theory, you go into the tank, you have a largely irrelevant team for a decade, and it might not work out. And like Buffalo is a pretty good example of a place where it hasn't worked out. Those other ones that we can kind of point to are ones where, like,
how long does it take in Detroit?
I would say that Detroit's probably maybe on the come up now. I look at Anaheim. Anaheim looks like they've got a good core. San Jose looks like they have a good core.
Yeah, but
Chicago looks like they
Chicago's
have a good core.
turning around.
Because those guys have picked 1, 2, and 3 in the NHL draft.
Correct.
You don't win a Stanley Cup. Look at every team that wins a Stanley Cup. It's not from like picks 4 through 25 with the players in there. If you have the 1 or 2 draft pick and you get that pick, you'll win a Stanley Cup eventually.
But you have to get 1 or 2. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it doesn't matter. It's a 1 or 2 pick.
Which does require you to have that mentality that we are willing to be bad. And this organization wasn't there, and they didn't do it. And they got lucky with Mishkov. Probably would have been a top 3 pick, top 2 pick. That was the lucky one. Martone, I wouldn't say would have been like a top 3 pick. He just happened to fall to them. The Lachenko year, that fake playoff run with Tortorella, to me, is like the thing that really is backbreaker. But I don't want to relitigate the entire past year because we'll kind of get back into the thing we usually do. I want to look at the team that's on ice because I want
to do what before you do because I'm getting killed in the chat and I just want to make sure that it's crystal clear that even when you're in the lottery as one of the worst teams, you still only have a 20% chance of getting that pick. Still only have a 20% chance of getting that pick.
Yeah.
Like the Islanders got the first pick last year, right? And they weren't one of the 3 worst teams in the league.
It's an anomalous draft, but yes. But yeah.
But my point is that if you are the worst team, you only have a 20% chance of getting that pick. So not only do you have to
But
tank
if you do finish
down,
with the worst record, you cannot fall far.
But you could fall to 4, right?
Which is highly unlikely, but yeah.
You can.
But you're still picking 4. You're not running the risk of picking 10.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Right, it doesn't fall.
San Jose was brutal, and they got the first pick.
Yeah.
Was celebrating teams. But Chicago was brutal. They got the first pick with Bedard.
Yeah.
So last year was a freak off, Anthony, with the Islanders getting that the lottery.
Go back.
The worse
through,
you are, the better chance you're going to have of getting that 1 or 2 pick.
Go back through every draft lottery, and tell me how many of the brutal worst team that you tanked down to the bottom got that first overall pick.
It's not just first. You can have the second pick because Florida had Barkov. They picked him second. He's their best player.
Right. But they didn't. But think about this with Barkov.
And they have Ekblad, who was a number 1 pick.
But think about that with Barkov and Ekblad. They didn't get good until they brought in players from outside.
They did, but they still
They had Barkov and Ekblad for all those years, and we're not good. We're not even a playoff team with those 2 guys.
But they did eventually develop into being 2 of the most critical players on a.
I'm not taking anything away from those players. They're great players. But what my point is that Florida didn't become what they became until they brought the players in from outside.
Which is fine, but that's another thing that we were talking about before, right? Like you go out and you try to get that goalie. They did, right?
They got Bobrovsky. They went and got Reinhardt.
So I think we're all kind of in a similar space here. And I think that there is just an inherent frustration. And this is where I do want to get to. And if you sidetrack me again, I'm going to be very frustrated with you.
Yeah.
The reason I think there's a lot of frustration in the fan base is because I'll call it like I always call it, fair and balanced, and people might like it and they might not. There are things right now happening with this team that I crucified John Tortorella for doing last year that Rick Tocchet is doing this year. Mishkov came into camp out of shape. That's fair. The cut in minutes to Mishkov is frustrating. The thing that I continue to point to, though, that I fundamentally do not understand, Grebenkin's not in the lineup again. This whole offseason, the front office said, don't expect, they essentially said, don't get your expectations up. We're not guaranteeing a playoff spot, all that. We kind of know that the push is for the playoffs. Grebenkin is not a difference maker. He's not going to win you a cup. But he's a young guy that could play 3rd line or 4th line minutes. And here we are, yet another game where we are watching Nick Delorier, Garnet Hathaway, neither of whom are going to be integral or part of a team that theoretically will be trying to push the envelope into the playoffs, maybe be a cup contender. Grebenkin has not done a damn thing to this point to me to warrant him being out of the lineup as often as he is. I would rather see him get some minutes.
He's not played all that well. That's the thing. Everybody wants him to say, Grebenkin, because he's a new toy. Right? And he's got a little bit of energy.
He gets down and dirty, and the coaches kind of lauded him to the press.
Yeah, that's nice.
So you can't laud a guy to the press and then he's out of the lineup as much as he is. That to me is trying to have your cake and eat it.
No. They laud him to the press in the role that he's been playing, but they're not going to laud him as something that he's not there yet, nor may he ever get there. There's been thought, and believe me when I tell you this, there's been a discussion about sending him down.
Then they should.
Because they're not 100% sure that he's ready for this.
Then send him down.
It may happen.
If he's going to get 7 or 8 minutes a night, every other game or every third game, then send him down. What the hell are you doing?
And that's fine.
It makes no sense.
So, but my point is that are you going to be upset when he gets sent down?
No, because I would look at it and say, this is where Tocchet, the combination of Tocchet, Briere, and Jones,
so you're okay.
a big part of what they are good at is making the case to the people and explaining why a decision was made. So if you send Gurbankin down and talk, think about what.
So you're okay with sending him down?
Went down as a conditioning stint, right? Or Yinning went down.
Conditioning.
Yeah, because and the only reason that they did that, just so everybody knows, is because he would be claimed on waivers.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to expose him to waivers.
So there was that. And when Emil Andre was getting sent down, they were pretty clear about these are the expectations. This is why he's going down. Yada yada.
But they look at Andre as a guy who they think is going to be part of their lineup,
which is good, and they send him down. Gurbankin, if Tokic just comes out and says, look, he was only getting 7-8 minutes. I wanted to get him more time. I keep making the lineups. He's making a couple of mistakes here that he has to kind of learn not to do. We're going to send him to the A. He's going to play more minutes. We want to bring him up later in the season. Go out and say that. Just make that the thing. Clear the air. Make that the point. But there's this, to me, it's kind of like talking out of both sides of his mouth. And you can't do that. And, again, the frustration
You mean saying he should be in the lineup and, it's okay if he goes down to the minor leagues?
I think he should be in the lineup.
But that's talking out of both sides of your mouth,
it's not.
Right?
He should be in the lineup. If they're going to play him every third game for 7 minutes, then just send him down. That's not talking out of both sides. That's a frustration. It's the same thing with Emil Andre. I thought he should be in the lineup. If you're not going to play him, then send him down and have him play bigger minutes with the Phantoms until you're ready to bring him back up. That's not both sides. That is being frustrated because I don't understand what we're doing. This comes back to my old idea of what are we doing here? You are in year 3 of the supposed rebuild. I don't need to see both Nick Delorier and Garnet Hathaway every night. They are not impact players. They do not make a difference long term. Give a guy minutes. Figure it out. And if Gurbankin, as we've said, might not be a fourth-line guy, maybe you think he's a third-line guy.
Delorier's out there to make guys feel comfortable up front. That's all he's out there for.
So what's Hathaway out there for?
He's out there as an energy guy to try to get bumps and get some hits.
And he kills penalties.
And it's not to say that these guys suck. I actually don't mind how Nick Delorier has played this year. Hathaway, I've actually been kind of disappointed with. But it's just that idea. It kind of feels like the half-measure stuff that I used to get mad at.
So are we seriously sitting here having meltdowns over who's playing on the fourth line on this team?
I'll show you a meltdown.
No, I'm not saying it's not just you, Russ. It's everybody, right? Are we seriously melting down over the fourth line? The fourth frigging line.
No, I can melt down.
The fourth line on most teams, I say most because there are a couple teams where it's not the case, but on most teams are freaking AHL players.
Yeah.
Right? So why are we having a conniption about we need to have young players play instead of the fourth liners? Who the hell cares?
I care.
Seriously.
I care.
I would rather you make an argument.
I
would rather you make an argument about the top 3 lines and the top 2 defensive pair than I would you make an argument about fourth line players. Because that to me is irrelevant.
It comes back to the decade of mediocrity kind of thing. You're doing a lot of the same thing. Again, they are doing things that Torts would have done the same thing. And I would have come on here and I would have bashed Torts for doing it. We could go back to the Chuck Fletcher years of trying to patch things over where you're taking half measures.
Supposed to do?
Don't say to the public, I need to find a way to get him more minutes and then play him 7 minutes every third game. Then send him down. Have him go and get experience in the AHL. I don't think it's crazy.
Why do you think he's saying I have to find a way to play him more minutes? Do you think it's because of the way he's playing? Or is it possible? Is it conceivable to anyone that the reason that he says I need to get him more minutes is because they are playing so many games in a short period of time and he doesn't want to burn out his better players, so he needs to find a way for the fourth line guys to get more minutes? Is that conceivably possible to anyone?
Yeah, but it's the third year of a rebuild. Why does that matter?
No. I am telling you what Rick Tocchet said, and I'm asking you to interpret it. Is it conceivably possible that what he's saying has nothing to do with I need to play this guy more because I think he deserves to play more, or could it possibly be I need to get these guys more ice time because I don't want to kill our top players?
And that's why he's playing Delorier and Hathaway, so that they don't have to burn out the top 9 forwards.
That's why the fourth line he wants to get the fourth line 11 to 12 minutes as opposed to 7 to 8.
I mean, I guess I would go back to earlier in the season and even not that long ago where you're still kind of shortening the bench late in games. So
depth is a problem with this organization right now.
It is.
Yes, there's no one is saying that it's not. But that's my point is that when you have a depth issue, these are guys that you have to play. And you're not happy with it, but this is just what it is.
These are the guys you have to play if you are a playoff team and you've set the expectation with the fans that you're a playoff team. They aren't.
Regardless, if this is a playoff game tonight, Delorier's not in the lineup.
Right.
Who's in the lineup?
If you're stuck, if this is a team you have Grabenkin in the playoffs right now. He'd be playing.
You think so?
I do. If this is a team you have right now built the way it is, and there's a playoff game tonight, Delorier's not playing for this team.
So then what? Then I guess that comes back to
because it's a regular season, Russ, and he's out there to make guys feel comfortable. He's not out there to score goals. He's not out there to provide any kind of offense. He can't kill penalties. He can't play on the power play. He goes up north, south for a couple shifts a period. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the life of a fourth line heavyweight, and it's kind of that in a league that's falling out.
But am I nuts, Bundy, when Talk is saying what he's saying, that he needs to get these guys more time? It's not because he suddenly thinks that they can make the team better by playing 12 minutes a night. It's because he's recognizing that I can't play my big guys 22, 23 minutes a night when we have 4 games in 6 nights.
Understood, but the frustration from some people are going to be, why is a guy like Grabenkin, who's got superior skill set to a guy like Delorier or even Hathaway, why is he not playing in the game?
Because he's not.
Because positionally he's not sound?
Yeah.
I mean, I got news for you. Is Nick Delorier positionally sound well every game?
No, but that's the thing. Like, you don't have a future for Nick Delorier, right?
Right. He absolutely is what he is.
He's what right. You're hoping that spending time in practices and working him extra time and giving him those extra shifts at the end of a practice is going to help Grabenkin become a better player. Maybe later this season. Might not even be, next year or the year after. It might be in 20 games, and then he's a regular in your lineup. But that's the thing. We are become such creatures of the moment, where we get so caught up in this should happen. I can't believe that he's a healthy scratch. If Grabenkin plays 58 games this year, is that hurting his stock versus playing 66 games this year?
How many has he played so far?
I'm just saying.
12 of 18?
I'm just throwing that number out. I'm just saying, what I'm asking you is, how much of a difference do you really think 58 games in your season versus 66 games?
Are you talking about Grabenkin?
Yeah. He interjects and doesn't have the number.
You can answer my question.
My point is very simple. You're in year 3 of this rebuild, and you told the fans, be patient with us. The younger guy should play. He should.
It's 12.
You're asking the difference between.
So he's played 2/3 of the game.
You're asking the difference between 58, 66 games.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I would say that he probably should still be in the lineup almost every night until you can figure out either he belongs here or he doesn't. I actually think the fact that you're so dug in on this is kind of wild because, again, if your thought was that, this is the thing. I think Rick Tocchet right now is coaching every game to win every game.
Because he should. That's what a coach does.
Which is fine. Which is fine. Except, again.
And I said the same thing about Torts. That's what a coach's job is.
I worry about the decisions that are being made developmentally for some of these guys. I hope that Mishkov plays himself into better shape and gets a larger role on this team. I'm not going to say that Tocchet has stunted the guy's development. A lot of that is on Mishkov for not being ready. And you have to be willing to call out a guy, even if he is the potential face of the franchise.
Yes.
Going forward, you have to. You can't dig your heels in. A lot of people do. You can't totally dig your heels in on it. I don't know. We'll see going forward what these lineups look like in another 2 weeks, in another month.
And lineups in November are a hell of a lot different than lineups in March.
Yeah, I mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, they just are. I mean, it's no different.
That's true.
I'll make a comparison. To another sport.
Be careful.
No, this is easy. This is an easy one. Baseball, you play 162 games.
Yep.
Right? Your catcher can't catch 162 games. You got to play the backup catcher 40 games.
Yeah.
Right? So you're playing the backup fourth line winger for 35 games this year. Is that the end of the world?
No, but I would actually argue that that's almost why I'd say Grabenkin. Oh wait, are we doing a moment of silence?
No,
it's Hockey Fights Cancer Night. I want to make sure we're not being insensitive.
No, you're good.
That's where I come back to. I'd rather see Grabenkin in and then just rotate Hathaway and Delorier because neither of them are part of the long-term plan. And I get it. Grabenkin's not going to play every night. That's fine. And especially as the schedule gets really compacted in December, like, I would expect those guys to rotate. I think that's really more of the frustration. Like, again, this isn't like past Russ just saying, like, why the hell is Nick Delorier on the ice? I think there are two guys that are pretty replaceable on the fourth line.
Here's something I'm going to throw at you. And we discussed this very briefly last game, I think, or maybe it was last game. I forget when it was. But so the brass, everybody went up to Lehigh Valley yesterday to watch the Phantoms.
Yeah.
Right? Phantoms won the game 4-2.
Kairou's had a hell of a...
Christian Kairou's played great.
Yeah.
Right? They're really liking him.
Has, yeah.
They wanted to see Alex Bump. And he didn't have a big game points production-wise, but from what I hear, he actually had a decent game. Denver Barkey had another really good game. It's another guy that they're talking about eventually getting the call-up and getting an opportunity. Let's just say that they're going to call up Alex Bump and Denver Barkey. Now, they're going to be spread out. They're not going to come at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? Where are you putting them in the lineup?
They have to play on the third line. They can't be fourth line guys.
So now what happens?
I have no idea. That is actually, it comes back to the Saravalli point from yesterday, which is just, you have a lot of wings, and you have to make a decision.
But who do you think's coming out of the lineup?
I have no idea.
Do you think Nick Delorier is going to play when those guys are here?
Well, they can't, but they can't be on the fourth line. So who moves down to the fourth line?
You're probably going Couturier, Brink, and Hathaway or Grabenkin.
Okay.
That's probably your fourth line.
That'd be okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean,
you got Couturier going to the fourth line.
Well,
if that happens.
What are you going to? You got to play Zegers at center.
Did you tell Coots that yet?
Yeah,
because they're going to have a conversation with him. I don't know how that's going to go.
Yeah, but I think what it is, it'll be one of those hybrid roles.
All right.
Bundy. So it's like you're playing on the fourth line, but you're still going to come out and take the shifts when we need the big face-off draws, either in the offensive or defensive zone. So you're going to replace a center there. You're going to be on the power play. You're going to be on the penalty kill. So you're still going to get 17, 18 minutes a night. You're not going to play 12.
Let me make this other argument here. Bundy, I want to get your thought. In the midst of all of this arguing about, should a young guy play all that, year 3 of the rebuild, Zegras is playing a lot of wing. He might ultimately be a wing. Aren't they kind of doing a disservice, though, to not play him at center, especially like early in the season, and figure out if that is a dead path or not?
Isn't that what happened in Anaheim? He wanted to be a center, and they didn't feel he was a center.
Yeah.
Like Pat Verbeek said, no, we have 2 guys that are ahead of him right now, so we had to move him, and he's a winger.
Yeah.
Everything I've heard out of Anaheim was that center is not his position.
It's not.
But I think you need to give it a shot at center.
I think you do, too. And ultimately, Ant, I think that's where if a Bump or a Barkey comes up, I think you're right. That's where you see that move of Zegras getting that look at center.
Right.
But, at some point, I feel like you have to give that a 10 or 15 game look, for better or worse. But again, that might be part of that whole, like, you're trying to win every game. And I would say, when you're trying to put the puzzle together longer term, this team makes a lot more sense if Trevor Zegras is a center. You have to give it.
It would be so much better.
A legitimate
be a
look.
huge plug in a hole.
It would be so much better for them if he could be a center.
Yeah. But you have to be willing.
He wants to be a center.
You have to be willing to try.
Yes, he does.
Is there a chance
he wants to be a center. Whether he can be or not that's the debate.
Let me play out the scenario. Is there a chance here that what they're doing with Dvorak right now in games, a lot of times where those two are paired up and it's a hybrid role, is there a possibility that they are doing that as a way to try to still groom Zegras at different times in the game to play center, and that when the trade deadline comes around, depending on how the team looks, and depending on which guys, maybe a couple of those Phantoms guys come up, or they think that Martone maybe gets a look late in the year, is that the time where maybe they say, hey, you know what, Dvorak's had a really good year, and now we move on from him, and that's where you feel more comfortable having Zegras play center? Like, is there a path to that?
Well, I don't think you're trading Dvorak unless you decide you're not going to be in a playoff race.
Okay.
Right? I mean, if you're in the playoff race, you're probably keeping Dvorak. If you're falling out of the playoff race as you approach the deadline and you have to sell again, then of course, then I think that there's a lot of names that are available. I think Dvorak is one. I think Owen Tippett is one at that time. I don't think Konechny is one, but I don't think that it's an automatic no conversation. I think that there are other names that could potentially be moved, and then you take it. Martone. Here's the thing with Martone. They would love to call up Porter Martone as soon as his college season is over, and they won't say this out loud, but they will secretly root against Michigan State in the playoffs
to get him earlier.
To get him here earlier,
yeah.
Right? Like they will secretly root against them to win. But Michigan State, to me, seems like almost unbeatable. in college hockey, and they're probably going to be in the Frozen Four and likely the national championship game. And if that's the case, you're maybe only getting 2 or 3 games at most out of Martone.
We got to get our predictions in here real quick. We can come back to Martone in the first intermission. Bundy, your thoughts on tonight's game?
Yeah, St. Louis is just an awful hockey team. They lost the next night against Vegas after the Flyers played them 4-1. Lost to Toronto in overtime the other night with a sick goal by Nylander. I think the Flyers kind of bury these guys tonight. I'm going to go 4-1 Flyers.
Yeah, I'm with Bundy. I think that when I watched the way the Flyers practiced their last 2 practices,
Anthem,
and they were hard practices. Flyers 5, Blues 2.
Intern
5-1 Flyers.
Do you want my 3 keys to the game, guys? I did.
We're about to do the national anthem.
Okay.
Do you want to wait for the anthem to be over and then do the keys?
No. Go ahead. Give your score. Give your prediction.
I'm going to say the Flyers boat race St. Louis tonight. I'm going to go 6-2.
Nice. I like it.
So we all have the Flyers. You can reply to that over on Twitter, or you can go back into the chat and drop your prediction there. We'll do Bundy's keys in the first intermission. We'll see how they're lining up compared to his keys. So,
sounds good.
Talk to all of you in the first intermission, second intermission here on the Press Row Show.
I'll tell you what.
Welcome into the Press Row Show, the #1 rated pregame and postgame show this side of the Mississippi, south of the Arctic Circle, north of the equator, and west of Nigeria. I don't know what to say. We all picked the Flyers to win. Flyers did not have the best period, although last time I looked, yes, the Flyers did. They outshot St. Louis in that period 12-9, and yet they are down 2-0 on the scoreboard. The first, a little deflection. Second one, not a great one to give up as a team. Anthony SanFilippo, Bundy. I don't know which one of you want to dive into this first period first.
I don't think the Flyers played a brutal period.
Right.
I mean, they're down 2-0. They had some opportunities, had some chances, but not enough bodies around the front of the net. And St. Louis's power play is one of the bright spots this year. They got a beautiful cross-seam pass, and Schultz is able to fire three. He's got two in that period, didn't he? Did Schultz have both?
You mean Falk?
Falk, excuse me.
Yeah. Falk had both
goals. Yeah. So I mean, Flyers haven't been bad. It wasn't a great period, but they have a lot left to desire for in the second and third, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Bundy on this. Obviously, it's hard to sit there and say, "Oh, well, you're down 2-0. No big deal." I think you look at the two goals, and the one that bothered me was more the second one, even though they were shorthanded. The Flyers are really responsible killing penalties. It's why they're amongst the best in the NHL in the penalty kill. They just really got out of position there, Bundy, and they left the middle wide open.
Wide open for an easy one-time pass.
Like an easy play. Vladar had no shot.
No chance.
No chance on that goal. And that was like a real breakdown that you don't see on that penalty kill. And that one was perplexing to me. That one was the head scratcher. First goal was the first goal, whatever, right? But look, Vladar made a couple of really nice saves early on with the breakaway, right? He had a really nice save on a breakaway. Had a really nice save on the doorstep late in the period as well. So I don't look at Vladar as having a bad period. I don't think I think Bundy said the team had chances. They were generating offensive opportunities. They didn't score. They didn't get guys to the front of the net. That's your criticism.
Yes.
And then one bad play on a penalty kill that was not the norm for them. So, Bundy, what were your keys to the game? And let's see if they approached any of them.
Number one, Flyers' key to St. Louis: better start. Slow starts have been a problem for the Flyers too frequently this season, especially of late. Much of the emphasis past week has been on being more competitive right from the get-go.
Yeah.
Yeah, down 2-0. Number two, expose St. Louis's defense. St. Louis is a -23 goal differential this year. As we saw last Friday night, they are poor defensively and squandered leads regularly. The Flyers need to attack the Blues and not puck watch as much as they did last weekend, where they gave up 10 goals in 2 games. That was number two.
I wouldn't say that's a failure yet.
I didn't give it a long fart. It was a short one.
They got 40 minutes to still expose them.
It was a little toot.
And the third one was better team defense. In practice this week, the Flyers had some very diligent work they put into defending the D zone, particularly 3-on-3s and 2-on-2s. The Flyers gave up too many chances in the D zone against Dallas and St. Louis last week and need to tighten up the coverage so they can get on the attack quicker.
Yeah,
that was short for the shorthand.
Yeah, they weren't bad defensively. I don't think there wasn't a lot of. The thing that bothered me a lot the last couple of games is they couldn't get the hell out of their zone.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it was just a lot of, you lose possession and then just you're standing there and you're very, and I asked Talkett about that, and he said that, they're doing a lot. What was the word that he used? When he said that they were just kind of like in position. And it's how you play when you're really tired. So you don't give up. You let them keep the puck and keep it to the outside.
Protection mode?
Well, but he didn't say that. I forget what the actual word was that he used. But that's what he said. Like there's been a lot of that, and they got to stop doing that. They got to attack the puck, attack the player, puck, who has carrying the puck as well. Yeah. So I mean, look, we'll see how the second period progresses. I wouldn't say it was an awful period, but you're not happy with where you're at in the game, down 2 goals.
You're down 2-0 at home to one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah.
Far from ideal, but not an insurmountable task.
Oh, no, the Flyers can get back in this easily. I mean, they did it twice last week. They were down 2 goal deficits in the St. Louis game twice and came back. So expect a much, much better team at the second period. They weren't awful in the first, but I think you're going to see a little bit more of a push here in the second period.
Now, I think one of the things that is probably the best thing to do right now is to go over to a man who, when he arrived here tonight, realized that we were in a doomsday scenario. Our Ethernet wires were gone. Our broadcast would not happen without them. And who jumped into action and got the job done? None other than this man, intern Andrew. How are you, fella?
Doing great. How are you guys doing?
And my favorite part about this is, and we're going to be going to the intern right as I think they're doing something with Lauren Hart up here.
I thought that Mike told me it was second intermission.
Oh, it was a second intermission? Okay.
Yeah.
What are they
Doing
do?
it where?
Right
Mike's
there.
got a
Right
tubular,
behind me.
Oh,
he's
with
got
Mike?
a tubular meat
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No.
Mike, what's on the tubular meat? What's on the tubular meat?
What's mustard. He went with just mustard.
Just mustard.
Yeah, just mustard.
The
Yeah.
light mustard.
Yeah. Light
Not
mustard.
the dark deli mustard. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll accept it.
Yeah, that's good.
You got to go with the dark deli mustard, though, when you're in the press box.
Yeah, I agree.
Good for him, though,
I
on the
agree.
tubular
But
meat.
no, but anyway, there's a production crew guy right over intern Andrew's right shoulder. And
Says
I
it on
guess-
the shirt?
Yeah, I think they're getting ready for
Maybe it is this intermission. I can't remember. But he did say it was the 6-minute mark of the intermission, whenever it is. So
Intern, let's get you to flex those golden pipes. You got a song? If you had to go to a song right now that wouldn't embarrass yourself, what is the song? I hear your mom has golden pipes. So, like,
Oh, yeah, she's very good.
what would be your go-to song?
She Looks So Perfect by 5 Seconds of Summer.
I have no idea what that song
I
is.
figured you wouldn't. But that's
Really?
okay.
Like, I'm stunned by that.
Why?
How does it go?
She looks so perfect standing there in my American Apparel underwear. And I know now. All right, do you guys want the stat?
But if you were to sing it, would you
Anything
would
other
you
than
kind
that
of
song.
belt it out?
Well, yeah, of course.
Like,
I've actually done it at a
Okay.
karaoke bar before. Yeah.
Oh!
There
You gotta
may
do
or
karaoke
there,
night.
Snow the Goalie karaoke is
there
going to be
may
in
or may
there.
not be video of it.
Snow the karaoke. I love it. We should do it.
Oh, I love it.
All right, intern, sorry. Go ahead. It's first intermission, which of course means that it is time for one of the most highly anticipated things. What? I see the comment.
Whatever.
Intern Andrew stat of the night.
So I think that I mentioned a week or so ago that keep it together.
I'm good.
A week or so ago that Travis Sanheim had tied Tom Bladen for fourth on the Flyers' all-time assist list by a defenseman. While the Flyers were on the road, he has since passed him, so he now has sole possession of fourth. Sanheim is now just 1 point away from passing Shane Gostisbehere for sole position of fifth on the Flyers' all-time points by a defenseman list. So we'll keep an eye on number 6 tonight. And then for St. Louis, Justin Falk in that first period, who, by the way, fresh off of his 1,000th game that he played on Tuesday.
Correct.
Those were his 50th and 51st goal as a Blue. So he is now one of 3 active defensemen in the league that have 50 or more goals for 2 different franchises. The other 2 are Erik Karlsson and Brent Burns, and now Falk.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about that? That's a good stat, actually. I like that one. Shame I'm not the AP guy.
Yeah, sorry.
If I was the AP guy tonight, that would have been a great AP stat. Would have built the entire lead of the story around that if
Yeah.
St. Louis wins. But no, I'm not the AP guy tonight. Dan Gelston's in the house tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Good
stuff.
stat.
Good
job.
stat.
Well done, intern.
Yeah. Good
I
stat.
was just sitting here playing with the default themes.
Now, of course,
the
you're
different-
goofing around, of course.
Yeah.
Did
gotta
you want
try
to talk
different
about Porter Martone?
Would you like to talk about Porter Martone?
Well, you said at the end of the pregame show.
I say a lot of things.
Yeah, you said we'll talk about Porter Martone at first intermission. So
Okay.
I was kind of reminding you
Okay. Let's talk
of
about
what you said.
Okay. Go on.
He's been off to a phenomenal start. 14 points in 10 games.
Panettone. That's what I was trying to think of. Panettone. You know Panettone?
Yeah, it's great. I have it at Christmas every year.
Little fruitcake. You
Yeah,
know?
but
I was
I
thinking-
get it with the pistachio.
I almost
The
said
Italian-
mortar.
the
I almost said
Italians with
mortar.
pistachio.
Mortar portone
Yeah.
would then be like panettone. Hey, sorry.
Yeah,
Go
but
ahead.
14 points in 10 games for a Michigan State team who I believe is 9-1. Mr. Big Ten, is that correct? Yeah,
They've actually lost a game?
I was stunned at that myself, but they're 9-1 to start the year.
Wow.
They're a wagon.
Yes.
They really are. And Martone is the top of he's their leading scorer. He's doing everything, scoring goals, picking up assists. He's just dominating games. I think he's an NHL body right now.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Well, didn't they say he added like 15 pounds of muscle?
Yeah,
since the offseason.
Yeah, he's probably going to win the Hobie Baker.
Bundy, how hard is it for a young guy to put that much?
Well, it's a little early to call that because some of the last few Hobie Baker numbers have had some serious numbers.
Yeah.
So he's got to pad those numbers to almost like 2 points a game. Because Hobie Baker, like Fantilli won it, he had 100 points.
Yeah. How hard is it for a guy that age to put on like 10, 15 pounds of muscle? Is it an easy thing at that age? I mean, usually it's a thing where I think when you're still in like the late teens or whatever, they still say it's a little bit harder to add that much pure muscle, but it sounds like he's really bulked up a bit.
I bulked up in my early 20s more than I did at 19. So I think that was, that's just the way the body goes sometimes. But he'll put weight on, no problem if they need him to. But they don't, right now, just let him play and let him grow the way he's growing.
Yeah, well, also, Bundy, playing in the NCAA, you're playing against some older guys who are a little bit more mature. So it kind of forces him to try and push it a little bit.
Yep.
Maybe that he wouldn't have done if he was, say, in junior hockey.
Right. And again, he'd probably have more than 2 points a game in junior hockey. In college, it's a better level of play, and he's getting challenged better than he would at junior.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good for the team. And like I said, pregame, they would prefer that Michigan State gets upset at some point because then you can get them in here sooner. But I don't think that they, if I'm not mistaken, the Frozen Four is the final week of the regular season this year. Is that correct?
Is that right?
I'm not positive.
For some reason, I think it's a little bit later than it usually is. I think the Frozen Four is the last week of the regular season. And I don't know why that is. You got it there, Russ?
April 9th and 11th.
Yeah, and the last game is, I think, the 13th. I think the last
so
Flyers game
Porter
is the 13th.
Martone up to play one game and burn a year of his ELC. The Gauthier plan. While we're on Martone, let me take it to another highly touted young prospect that was taken in the first round. So remember how we had the conversation about if Jet Lachenko goes down to Guelph, he's got to kind of tear it up.
Yeah.
We especially wanted to see him score goals.
Yeah.
He's not like lighting the world on fire goal scoring wise, but he has 2 goals and 9 assists, 11 total points since going back to Guelph in 8 games. Now, what's interesting in all of this, Ant, is one of the things that we talked about is if Guelph were to get awarded. What are you looking at?
I'm just wondering why there's such a big crowd up here, and they're all watching
because
Mike.
People see the first of all,
are they singing Christmas carols?
Mike is an amazing organist. They also see a TV camera and they think something cool is going to happen.
Yeah. But anyway, continue.
What I was going to say is Guelph was awarded the 2027 Memorial Cup.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we've talked about, and some of the people that we've had on pregame the last few weeks have talked about, is whether or not that changes the calculus for Guelph.
It does.
If they move on from Lachenko or not, if they move Lachenko or not. So how does them getting awarded the Memorial Cup change things potentially for Lachenko's future there?
Well, Bundy can talk about this as well, but I'm pretty certain that if you're hosting Memorial Cup, you want to make sure you have a competitive team.
Yeah, which they don't, right?
Which they don't currently.
Which is really odd, yeah.
So you would think that they're going to, they're going to obviously have higher picks next year, but you would also think that whatever good players you have, maybe you try to move them to another team and get some capital in return so that you can be a somewhat competitive team in the Memorial Cup in 27.
Makes some sense. That will force Guelph to try to be better. Yeah, because usually the host team, there's been many times where the host team didn't win anything, and they ended up winning the Memorial Cup as the host team.
Right.
So that does happen.
And I guess so. For anybody out there who's like, well, if they want to be good, why would they trade Jet Lachenko? Like, what if he's still there? He won't be there in 2027. That's why. So you're trying to get any kind of asset back for him instead of having nothing to show for it if you keep him.
Yeah, I think that it's. You got to look at the standings. I don't know. I haven't looked at the OHL standings.
I'll look.
I know Guelph was not as stinky as a lot of people thought they were going to be, but they're
stinky.
But they're still not a great team. I wonder if they're still kind of hanging around a little bit in their division.
They are in 4th place in the Midwest Division.
Yeah. What's the record?
Let's see. Guelph. They are 11-8. 11-8-2.
11-8-2. Yeah, so they're about 500. Yeah, so I would think that they'll probably hang in for a little bit, but I think that there is a possibility that before their deadline, that if they're not right there in that playoff mix, that Luchenko ends up somewhere else.
Yeah. Interesting. I guess if he were to end up with another team in the league, you would want him to go to one of the heavier hitting teams, right? Like, isn't the
London?
Yeah,
London's
in the same division as Guelph. Interestingly enough. Okay.
Yeah, that's. I mean, he's played well up there, which is good.
Donald Fletcher just asked a question that I guess is intended to light the entire comment section on fire. Would you consider trading Mishkov for a number one center?
Are you asking us?
I
If you could get a dynamic, let's say Anaheim wanted to trade like that Leo Carlson for Mishkov, you would do that deal in 2 seconds.
Yeah, a number one center is always worth more than a number one wing.
Always.
So yes, it obviously it would depend on the age of the number one center and where they're at in their contract and everything else. But whatever. But there's other parameters to it. But just on the basis of what Mishkov is and where he plays versus what you're going to get in return for the number one center, yeah, I would do it.
One of the things that we didn't talk about is the fact that the Flyers do have a 1C in the wings, waiting in the Jack Nesbitt, baby. I'm a believer in Jack Nesbitt. Is it going to be a 1C? I have no idea. I believe in Nesbitt though. Nesbitt's big dude.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what he
dude.
They just lost to Guelph, as a matter of fact. He's on Windsor. I think Guelph.
Actually, take a gander at Nesbitt's numbers.
I'm pretty sure Guelph beat
He had
them.
5 points the other night.
Yeah, he did.
Nesbitt, yeah.
Yeah, he had a big game the other night.
All right, let's see. Jack. 6'4", right?
He's
a big kid.
Big lanky guy, yeah.
We like that guy. Let's see. Nesbitt has 7 goals and 11 assists.
Yeah.
18 points in 16 games.
That's about right.
Windsor.
Yeah, it's good.
With the 5-point night the other night?
Yeah. He's on track right now for a 70-point season at 18 years old in that league. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
Especially for a big guy who's got to work on skating. If you're getting that kind of production out of him while he's, adjusting to that, I mean, I think that's solid.
I remember Scotty Lawton told me once.
Yeah.
And I never forgot it because I always had it entombed in my head. He said, "Yeah, if you're not a point a game player in major junior hockey, you're just brutal."
It's fair. It's fair, especially in certain leagues, especially in the Q, where they don't play defense.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially in the Q.
It was worse years ago. Apparently, it's a little bit better.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
CMC, by the way, is going to end up being wrong. I'm not tying my wagon.
Face off.
All right, we got to go. We'll be back second intermission and postgame here on the Press Row Show. Like the video, share the video, subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified whenever we go live. Okay, bye. Welcome into the Press Show, the number one rated pregame intermission postgame show to the side of the Mississippi, south of the Arctic Circle, north of the equator, west of Nigeria, and the home of one of the most kind, considerate people, intern Andrew, who you can't really see it right now, but you will in a bit. There's something going on up here on the balcony level, and intern Andrew stopped what he was doing to check with the production crew to make sure that he's not in their way. What a nice guy. You know,
he is.
We have seniority up here, and yet intern Andrew wants to make sure that everybody is able to be in the position to succeed, like Andy Reid used to say.
He's going to be a good leader someday, that kid, when he turns like 24, 25. You're going to grow in your own, Andrew.
Didn't you just have a birthday?
Week from tonight.
Oh, it's coming up.
A week from tonight.
How old are you going to be? 25?
Oh, we're not.
I'll be 30.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Do we sing to him on Saturday? Does he come out? Does he come out to the show on Tuesday?
Saturday's got to be the birthday event.
Or does he come out on Tuesday to bet Parks?
You won't be there
Parks
Saturday,
Casino.
Andrew?
No,
He'll
he'll
be
be
Saturday.
Saturday.
Oh, you will?
You're going to come out to the show
But
at
next
Parks
week-
Casino?
considering
Chickies
Next
and
week's a
Pete's?
4-game road trip, so he's not going to. We won't see him.
Oh, right.
I think we should take him to the casino. That could be fun.
You're going to make him go all the way to hell to Parks from where he lives.
Yeah.
You just want somebody to feel good about your trip.
I'll buy him a beverage, his first of his life, and I will.
You want a carpool?
So that was a better period. A better period, guys. Flyers got a goal. Rod Abels. Apples to apples.
Yeah.
He gets the goal, but really nice play, Bundy, on that play, both by Zegers and Tippett.
Yeah, working the boards.
Zegers really working the boards, just pushes it ahead, and then Tippett with a no-look pass to Abels, who's at the side of the net, and he's able to find a nice angle and get the goal. So
he's had a couple good shots in this game that he got robbed on. 2 of them Abels has already. So it's nice for him to get rewarded with that goal going to the front of the net. That's the kind of traffic you want. That's the kind of net presence you want to see if you're Rick Talking.
Isn't that the thing we're always talking about, Bundy? Just get in front of the net. Put pucks on net.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, and that really is the case. I mean, they've done a good job of that. That was a period where both teams kind of went back and forth. St. Louis had some flow to the period. The Flyers had some flow to the period. 2-1 going into the third. That goal late was a big one for the Flyers, though, to get it to 2-1 rather than keep it at a 2-0 deficit heading into the third period. But you can see St. Louis, when they break down defensively, it's ugly.
Or do they break down?
Yeah, really bad. They don't even they can't recognize coverage when the Flyers start zipping around the zone, and they need to keep their foot on the gas in the third period doing so.
Michelle here, a very critical comment of Travis Konechny saying, does he still play for the Flyers?
I actually think he's had a decent game today.
Yeah, I don't think he's been too bad.
Like, really, I mean, obviously there's no points on the board, but I think that he's had a couple of shifts out there where he's like really made some stuff happen and kept the puck alive in the Flyers' offensive zone. He's got a little bit of jump to his game. I don't think he's had a bad game at all.
Well, if he's got some jump, what do we think of Mishkov? GJG 5087 says, I've been really watching to see if Mishkov looks slower after the Frank Saravalli interview. It's more noticeable in person, not going to lie.
No, I mean, it's the truth. I mean, fans don't want to hear it because Mishkov is the savior, right? But you can't let it slide. The guy's not played well this year. It's underwhelming. And that's the way it is, I mean, it's still early. Can he still have, a good second half and everything else? All that stuff, yes, can still happen. And we're not saying that it's not going to, but it has been a disappointment to start the season, and there's no doubt about it.
Here's one from Eeny Meeny You. And where is the Rasmus Ristolainen?
He's been skating this week over in Voorhees on his own prior to practice. So he's out on the ice by himself with a coach and trainer. But he's not quite there yet, but I think it's very soon you're going to see Rasmus Ristolainen practicing. Oliver Bonk has been practicing with the team, but don't read too much into that. It just so happens that he's rehabbing here, and this is where he's going to skate. I think he'll end up back in Lehigh, if not next week, the week after. Yeah. A guy who has impressed me really tonight, Bundy, Dan Vladar.
Yeah, he's been great again.
Holy smoke, has he been good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like he's got a ton of saves.
High quality.
But they're all high quality. Right, that's what I was about to say. They're all from grade A chances for the Blues, and he's keeping the puck out of the net.
Yeah, he's done a great job. Really, really some big stops in that second period. And there has been a lot of good opportunities by the Blues in this game that Vladar has been very, very sharp on.
Yeah.
It's just really encouraging. I mean, it's tricky. This is 12th game of the season. The most he's ever played in a season is 30. But, man, like the initial returns here so far have been very, very encouraging with Vladar thus far.
Yeah, they really have.
We talk about this a lot, just about like the tiers of goalies, and a good goalie can keep you in a game. A great goalie, or a great goalie can make saves that maybe have you alive in games you don't necessarily deserve to be in, and the elite ones are able to actually go out and grab a game by the throat and win it for you. He's not quite at the great level, but he's definitely at the very least at the good level, and he makes saves that, if we're being fair, if Vladar's not in there on a few of these saves, I'm not so sure that it's a 2-1 game.
I will say to you that it doesn't take much longer to get to this point. If after 20 starts, he's still got the kind of numbers that he has right now, I think you're looking at a guy and going, he's having a season that's one of the best in the league amongst goalies. He's still top 10-ish, I think. Yeah, but I'm saying if he has a 2.4 goals against and a save percentage over 900 after 20 starts, that's phenomenal for what we thought he was going to be and what he's turned out to be. That's really big. I don't even think the Flyers could have expected that.
No,
right?
Way. No.
So,
it's crazy. If you look at it, he's got a 2.42 goals against.
Yeah. That
is 8th in the league, and he's got a 909 save percentage, which is 12th in the league.
Yeah.
That was coming into tonight.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm saying. If after 20 games he still has those numbers, you have a top 10 goalie in the NHL right now.
Yeah.
It's wild. You would have not have thought that coming into the season, but yet that's what he's been for them. So good on Dan Vladar.
Good on him.
And just to answer, before we go to intern Andrew trivia.
What's this? Andy's 24. He's not 24.
No, he's not.
He's 28.
He's 28. I think if you're basing it off of what Frank said yesterday, he was saying when he came into the league at 24 as a player. Yeah. If you've watched Michelle, it's showing us that you watched the clips, or at least watched the episode yesterday. So thank you. But somebody did ask me a question.
He's only. It's funny if you look at it, even as a backup, he only has really 4 seasons before this one. He played very limited games, 5 games or something for Boston, and then he had in the 20s or so, and then 30 last year for Calgary. So a lot of tread left on the tires.
Someone did ask me when we'll see Alex bump. There was real serious consideration to call him up for tonight, and they didn't.
What do you do to make a roster spot for that, Ed?
Well, that's the thing. So once they decided to send Yinning down for the conditioning assignment, I kind of felt like that was indication that they were going to wait on bump, but not much longer. Just maybe through this conditioning assignment, and then you have to make a decision. You probably waive one of the defensemen, either Yinning or Zamula. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, one of those two, and probably Yinning because Zamula right now is your 7. Although if you punt it down the road, with Yinning on this conditioning assignment, which can last for 14 days, and Risto is able to come back in that time, you probably look at Yinning and say he's younger, he's a guy maybe you'd want to keep in the organization a little bit more, so maybe he's your number 8, and then Zamula is the guy you waive. Right. So that's kind of, I think, what they're thinking is there.
Tony Louis got a pretty wild question there. With the playmaking and vision Martone has, could he maybe convert to center?
I don't think so. I just don't. I don't think he's got the skating to play the center, right, Bundy? I don't think he can. It's a good thought. It's a good thought, but I don't think he's got it. It's not about size. Obviously, you can be big and be a center, but I just don't think he skates like a center.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got the song going over here, and now is a great time to bring in intern Andrew. And, typically we play him in, but I'm thinking that the fact that you got Lauren Hart over there.
Lauren Hart's playing him in.
She's kind of playing in intern Andrew. Hold on. I think we should wait for the chorus to bring in intern Andrew.
Are we going to get zapped on YouTube for this?
I don't know, probably. And then I'm going to have to appeal it and say, no, we're not trying to rip off the music artist. No, we're not trying to steal their song.
We've had her on the show.
Yeah. I wasn't here for it, though, so, it's kind of tricky.
Yeah.
But, all right, you feel it? You feel it, intern?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to go out to intern Andrew for trivia time.
Wow.
Go ahead. Intern, hello.
Yeah.
Trivia time.
I know.
We set that up perfectly, and you froze.
No, I know.
What the heck, man?
So, Braden Shen back in the building. Do you guys remember him? He used to play here.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
did he?
424 games with the Flyers over the course of 6 seasons before he was traded to the St. Louis Blues the 2017 draft for Yuri Laterra. So this is his 9th season in St. Louis.
And picks. Wasn't just
No,
No, it was straight up.
Yuri Laterra. The life of the party.
Oh, yeah. That was Russ's favorite guy back in the day on the press row.
All right, good trivia.
Thank you. So this is his 9th season with the Blues and his 3rd season as the Blues captain. So he's a Blues captain that played for the Flyers at one point in his career. In history, there have been 2 former Flyers captains that have played for the Blues at one point in the career. And there's one player that has been the captain of both the Blues and the Flyers. So can you name those 3 guys?
Was Jason Smith one of the captains?
No. Never played for the Blues.
Mike Bullard?
Nope.
A good question. St. Louis and the Flyers.
Brindamore?
Nope.
No.
No, I guess he wasn't a captain in St. Louis.
How recently was the guy who was the captain on both teams? How recently did he play?
I was alive and sentient, so.
All right, so there's a guy who was a captain for both teams. And then there was 2 guys.
Hatcher didn't play for the
Then 2
Dale
guys,
Howardchuk?
Nope.
And then 2 guys who were captains for the Blues who played for the Flyers.
No, 2 guys who were captains for the Flyers that played for the Blues.
Okay. All right.
Little tongue tie there.
That's right.
Mel Bridgman, one of them?
No, never played for the Blues.
Ron Sutter.
That's correct. Was a Flyers captain who also played for the Blues.
Did Pronger play for both?
Chris Pronger.
Chris Pronger was captain for both.
He was a double captain. Okay.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Was that the only one who was in Our Lifetime?
Yes.
Our lifetime.
If you, Ant, as the Flyers historian, if you get this one, I'll be impressed.
Wow.
Berenson?
No.
There's one more guy. What was this one again?
He was a captain.
He was a captain of the Flyers and also played for the Blues at one point in his career.
Okay.
Is it an obscure player?
Kevin Dineen?
No. It's tough. He played 1 season with the Flyers and 1 season with the Blues.
And he was a captain for 1 year in Philadelphia?
It's not Jason Smith?
No.
That's what I would have thought.
Wow, this is a
Mike
good one.
Did Mike Rathje play for...
No, it's not captain. The captain for 1 year in Philadelphia. He's only here for 1 year, and they made him captain.
Lou Angotti?
That is correct.
Wow.
The very first captain in Flyers history. Played here for 1 season.
Lou Angotti. Now, I want everybody to take notice that I looked here the entire time during that trivia.
No, I noticed.
Yeah, okay.
And
you still have periffs.
That's true.
And also, if you look this way,
Did
you could be
anybody
looking
mention
at the comments on my screen.
Did anybody get
Brian Knowlton.
Did he? Okay.
And Joe Papel.
Yeah. All these people cheering for Lauren up here.
I'm actually cheering for intern Andrew's trivia.
Well, I thought they were cheering for me for getting Lou Angotti.
You should have brought me over there. I would have sang for free. I would have warmed up the pipes and just belted one out.
What song would you have sung?
Maybe It's Cold Outside.
We're going to cancel Bundy tonight.
It's a nice Christmas song.
It's so cold. Did you ever see the...
Yes, I know exactly.
What was his name? Tom?
I forget what his name is when he did the comparison.
He was the guy on America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
And he almost won. And he compared. It was like when everybody was canceling the song "It's Cold Outside." Baby, it's cold outside. And he did a side by side of "Baby, It's Cold Outside" and
WAP.
WAP.
Yeah.
Not the Italian slur.
Yes.
WAP.
Yeah.
To be clear.
Yes.
Spit in my mouth. That was the only appropriate part that I could say.
That is such a great clip, by the way.
I wish that Gilbert Gottfried had lived long enough for that. Can you imagine Gilbert Gottfried breaking down the lyrics to that song?
I think he was alive for it.
No, he wasn't.
Gilbert Gottfried died a couple years ago.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Gottfried died in like 22 or 23.
23, I think it was.
Gilbert, I'm actually looking this up because it matters.
It matters.
Gilbert Gottfried died April 12th, 2022.
Okay.
And the song WAP came out in 2025. I told you.
No, it didn't.
No, it did not.
WAP? Are we talking the Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion song?
Oh, sorry, 2020.
Yeah, 2020.
Google lied to me. 2020. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about this. All right, we got 2 minutes. Bundy.
Yep.
How are you?
Doing well.
You know who else could do well? The Philadelphia Flyers with a win tonight. It's 2-1. Everything is still in play here. What do the Flyers need to do in the first 5 minutes of this period to get things continuing down the right path and perhaps either force overtime or get this thing done ahead of time?
Well, I think the one thing they can do is play more in the St. Louis zone. St. Louis has no clue defensively how to, or D-zone coverage-wise, when things get panicky for them, they really, really sputter out. So I think the Flyers can do a better job of getting in the zone, hanging on to pucks, and making St. Louis have to try to play defense. I think the Flyers do that. They get out of here with a win tonight, somehow come back in the third period. One thing I will say, they've just had to come back way too many times this year already. I mean, it's been unbelievable the amount of comebacks we've seen, but that's not a formula for success as you head to the second half of the season.
Does that kind of just speak to the talent level on the team? Is that like honestly, like, is that kind of one of the barometers that you kind of like an indicator that you go, yeah, that kind of makes sense? Look at this guy.
There he is.
I don't know why. I wish you would have come up earlier. We would have brought him on.
Just come over here.
Real quick.
This guy was the guy who got to drop the ceremonial puck before the game here on Hockey Fights Cancer Night. Jason Martinez.
How awesome was that?
It was cool. All these people. Pretty nice, right? Eh?
Yeah.
I did a good job.
Yeah.
I may have done that before. All these people before, like, are you nervous? I'm like, no, I'm not nervous, but stop asking me because I'm getting nervous. I'm like, Jesus, leave me alone. I'm fine.
Yeah, it was good.
It's not a foreign substance to me, so
Yeah.
I'm good.
It was cool.
Yeah, nice carpet.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool that you brought the team out. That you brought your medical team out there.
Oh, they were awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
Good,
it's been a
good
good night
for you, my friend.
Yeah, I
It was
appreciate
really cool. It was really cool to see. Really cool to see.
Oh, I'm not on camera. There I am.
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah,
You're good.
Better heard than seen, boys.
Yeah, puck drop. Yep, that's right.
All right, we will be back post-game here on the Press Row Show. Talk to you very soon. Oh, welcome into the Press Row Show, the number one rated pregame, intermission, postgame show the side of the Mississippi, south of the Arctic Circle, north of the equator, west of Nigeria. The Flyers don't take it to a shootout. They get it done in the run of play, Bundy. A win in overtime. It wasn't a pretty game, but they did come back from a 2-0 deficit. Dan Vladar.
Yeah, he should be
stood
first
on his head tonight.
Anthony's picking stars tonight. And I said make it easy. Make him the first, second, and third star of the game. Because he was that good. The Flyers don't win this game tonight without Dan Vladar. No chance.
He had a game that makes you once again appreciate the fact that to this point, he looks like a number one guy. You don't want to, it's not even like a jinxable. It's a, you want it to be real, you know?
Yes.
And to this point, he has given this team an opportunity to win every night. And we were talking about it during one of the intermissions that, you know, good goalies keep you in games. Great goalies can
win you
get in games that, you know, you don't belong in. And, you know, elite goalies are the ones who can flat out steal you a game. He tonight was, by that metric, he was great because this wasn't a game that he just kept you in. He actively went out there and kept you alive in a game that you might not have deserved to otherwise be in. I mean, there were some saves that he made in this game that were mind-blowing, including one in the in overtime that had the whole place going wild.
Yeah, he made some beautiful saves in the second and third period. And the difference was St. Louis had a 2-0 lead, and they never got another goal the rest of the game.
Yeah.
They got them in the first period. If they get one or two more in this hockey game, the game's over. He kept the Flyers, Vladar kept the Flyers in this hockey game, made stop after stop, because St. Louis, I thought, had a lot of high-danger chances in this game tonight. They really did. And Vladar was just rose to the challenge once again. Outstanding goaltending.
It is absolutely wild to be in a situation here, especially when you go back to like last year's just circus in goal. This team has a guy that they can legitimately rely on night in and night out.
Yeah.
And remains to be seen if he's going to be able to do this over the course of a full season as the number one guy. The most he's ever played is 30 games. This was his 12th game.
Good job, brother. That was cool.
What? Cool dude.
Think he's had a couple?
I think he scared me a little. He scared me a little bit there. Got the hand gesture. He had the pinky ring on.
So we can keep going until this line goes.
I think we probably can, yeah.
Yeah.
Should we bring some of these? Look, there's a 1.5-year-old little girl crying. That's okay, kiddo.
You have the headset on? No, she doesn't have
She
the
doesn't have the
earmuffs
headset.
on.
You know what, though? She doesn't need the headset. She doesn't need her hearing. You know what she needs? To be reminded of the play that Travis Sanheim made in overtime. The game on his stick. Sean Couturier skating alongside him. It was a neutral zone turnover, I think, right? That led to that. Sanheim goes down. Couturier is kind of lined up to his right, has a stick on the ice to tap in a backhand just in case. But Sanheim rips a shot, wins it in overtime.
He got in really close there, too. I almost lost the angle on that.
Got to feel good for Travis Sanheim. I think we've talked pretty extensively this year just about the next step that he's kind of taken in his game. He really is a bona fide top-pair defenseman. He really is putting in yeoman's work game in and game out, playing a ton of time. And it has to feel good for him to kind of get rewarded in overtime.
That was
nice
play he made in overtime. Yeah, he played a pretty strong game tonight. Rodrigo Abels had a really good game tonight, too. I thought he had a great game tonight. The fourth line actually they actually played well tonight. They got in on the forecheck. They got some hits. They created some energy. It was really good to see that tonight.
Intern Andrew, I wanted to bring you on here for a second. Was there anything that stood out to you tonight that you were super-de-duper excited about?
Super-de-duper?
Yeah.
Well, my Sanheim stat came true. He got that point at the end, so he passed Gostisbehere for 5th on the Flyers' all-time points list by a defenseman.
Okay,
so I spoke that into existence.
So top 5 now, Travis Sanheim.
Sole possession of 5th place now for
How
Sanheim.
about that? Good for Travis Sanheim. Got to feel good for him tonight. Good on him.
It would have been tough to swallow if they had lost this game, given the save that was made on Zegras late in the third period, and then Konechny just whiffing on that empty net.
That was
both of those guys would have been seeing that in their nightmares tonight. So
yeah, I mean,
no harm, no foul.
The Konechny whiff with the game on his stick in a wide open net.
Yeah,
that was not good.
That was right there too. Yeah, I mean, all you had to do is take an extra half a second just to spot it, and
just settle it. Yeah,
bury it in.
Is that a guy who's just snake bitten?
I think so, a little bit. I mean, he was going good there for a little while, but he had some empty net goals, and he was getting assists and stuff, which is good. But yeah, I mean, he's just got to get into his groove, I feel.
Yeah.
And I think it takes certain amount of time to do so, and to feel a rhythm and feel a groove in your game.
I got to tell you, Matvei Mishkov was buzzing in the overtime. Now, it certainly wasn't buzzing throughout the course of regulation, but man, when that overtime came around, it might have been the fastest I saw him skate all night.
He's not fast.
I was making the joke. He might have been looking to target. Can they do double shift? He played I think just under 14 minutes of regulation time, and he did get out there on the ice in overtime. You know what I did notice, though, is that when he was out there, Zegras was not. Remember was it the last overtime game, or it was 2 overtime games ago? They had Zegras and Mishkov out there together, and then there was that turnover, and it went the other way. I think it was the Oilers game, maybe, was the one where they were both on ice together. Anyway, I wouldn't say it was a standout game by Mishkov tonight.
No.
You just have to keep hoping that things are going to start to break his way. But he's got to, I think at this point, it's pretty clear, he's got to make it happen.
Got to create your own breaks.
Yeah.
Just like you said right there. Yep. Yeah, he just, it's almost like he feels sometimes he's up on the play, and then there's other times he feels like he's a step or two behind. And behind everything on the ice. So, I mean, that's one issue. But, I mean, he gets in the grooves. And, again, I don't know, see more of him be streaky. He scored pretty consistently through the year last year.
Hey, real quick, this has nothing to do with the game, but Andrew Venom Claus is asking, what happened to Andrew getting a haircut that he promised?
I did. This is like 3 inches shorter than it was. You just haven't seen me in a while.
That's not a haircut.
That's
You never got a haircut.
I absolutely did.
Who cut it? Your mom?
No.
How long was it before?
It was
It's the same length.
No, it's not.
I'm
Exact
gonna
same
hold on,
length.
I'm
I can't tell you
absolutely
got a
not.
haircut at
I'm
all.
going to see if I can get a side-by-side of the last time.
Pull up me on your show the other day.
Whoa. Don't boss me around here on this.
I
See this
here
right here
program.
on my head? That's a haircut. All right?
It's a darn good
Well,
looking
your
haircut.
hair is just shorter than mine.
I
like
took it short.
I
Bundy's
like
a
it to be a
stud.
little bit longer.
Bonafide stud Bundy over here. Hold on a second. Now, all right, here's the Oilers game. Let's take a look at intern Andrew from that game. I want to get a view here, and we're going to do a side-by-side comparison. For the people who listen after the fact in the podcast feed, they're probably like, what the hell are we doing? Yeah, I mean, look at that. I mean, come on, intern. What are we doing? All right, I'm gonna pull this up here. Bundy, can you see this on your screen? Right, here we go. I just want people to see. This is what intern Andrew claims was a haircut. So there's intern Andrew, and now here is intern Andrew, the other. This was against the Oilers. Here's intern Andrew's hair length in that game.
That is so much longer.
It's the same length.
No, it's not. Look at the back.
It's identical.
Look at the back.
I'm looking at it, a whole thing right now.
No, you're
I'm
not.
looking at you, and then I'm looking at the picture. This
is like Snow the Goalie Inception, but
you got robbed, dude. Whatever they gave you for that haircut, you got to go get your money back.
I don't think he got enough cut.
No, he didn't get enough cut. You should go back and tell the guy to finish the job.
It was a woman.
We'll tell her to finish the job. Go
just
back
assuming
in and
he was
say,
a man.
What'd you pay for that thing? $10?
No.
He spent a lot of
It was
money
more
on
than
it. You know what? Intern Andrew goes to a nice place, I'm sure.
You should go back and to give him the other 10 and cut the other half.
But I don't want it to be that. I don't want it to be that short.
Okay, now what's the shortest your hair has ever been?
It's been buzzed before.
Has it?
Yeah.
Like how buzzed?
Like it was a buzz cut.
Can I buzz your hair some night on the show?
Please don't.
I will. I'll bring my buzzer and I'll buzz you right here in front of the
I
whole
know
crowd.
you will. I don't want you to though.
I'll give it like a number 3.
What
Number
if
3. It won't
what
be
if
too
we
bad.
buzzed your head? Like, what if we turned it into a donation? We turned like the stream into a donation. We could get people to drop super chats, and then we donate the money to a charity. That could be a great initiative.
I love it.
Buzz intern's head, and we donate the money in the super chats that night.
Donate the hair too.
I don't know.
I suppose I
don't.
could, yeah.
I don't actually know if his hair is long enough now. I think it might have been long. Well, you know, we should look into that too. We can make this vow tonight, and then buzz his head later on in the season.
I could definitely enjoy looking forward to buzzing that thing. I'll bring my kid in and everything.
You have a kit?
Oh yeah.
Oh, your kid. I thought you said your kid.
No,
my
no.
kit, my shaving kit. I'll bring it in. And I'll
whose
shave
head are
that
you
whole
buzzing?
dome. Andrew.
You didn't buzz your head.
No.
Your hair looks nice. You didn't buzz that.
No, I didn't do it. I get
Yeah.
someone to do it for me.
A man or a woman?
A man.
All right.
Okay.
So you went to a salon then, right?
I'm not telling you where I went.
You went to a salon.
I'm telling you
That's
where
okay.
I went.
My mom owned a salon. My mom cut my hair for a long, long time. She did a great job, except for the one time when I was in like elementary school and I asked for highlights, and she gave me like 3 different color blonde in my highlights. My head
Really?
looked like a cheetah head. Yeah, it was bad. Those are bad times. Try not to think back to those days. Anyway,
Good
it
win.
back here.
I would say the one thing this team needs to get better at though is stop giving up these leads. They've come back from 2 goals 3 times on St. Louis in the 2 games they played. They absolutely have to start finding ways to have better starts. You can't get down 2-0 behind good teams when you see them and expect to come back every night. It's just not realistic. You can against St. Louis. I think they're the crappiest team in the league that we've seen. I think they're absolutely horrible hockey team.
Worse than Calgary?
Yes.
Does it feel like this year we have seen, like when you talk about the lowest of the low teams that the squad has played against this year, does it feel like the lowest of low that we've seen in like the last couple of years? Like there are some bad hockey teams.
There's some bad teams out there.
Like last year, I felt like we saw a few that were bad, but like this year is almost taking it to an entirely lower level.
Well, we've seen St. Louis and Calgary. We didn't see a good game from Edmonton, who's been just awful this year too. Even though they won the game that night, they didn't play well.
Yep.
Who else have we seen in here that just didn't have it going?
There have been some bad teams.
Yeah, there has been
some bad teams, bad games. By the way, people are talking about making donations. So there you go. We'll have to see what's up with intern Andrew.
Tony Louie.
No, we're not pulling that one up on this. I'm actually going to take the comments off here for a second until we get a couple more comments, and we're going to hide that one.
Oh, Tony Louie.
Oh boy. All right, here I'll take intern Andrew off. I don't want him to be uncomfortable over there.
That's fine.
We're going to shave his head. Do you think the Flyers would support if we shaved the intern's head up here? Do you think that would get us in hot water with the organization?
If we shaved Andrew up here?
Yeah.
Well, where else was I going? I was planning on shaving him right where he's sitting.
I know you were.
Center ice.
I just got to have. I've got it all planned. I'm going to have the guy with the broom and the dustpan. He's going to sweep up after me, and then we're going to get that hair in that dustpan. And we're going to send it off to somewhere. Someone can make like a doll's hair out of that head.
That wouldn't be creepy at all.
Oh no.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
No, we still have Saturday show.
Oh, that's right. I forgot we're back.
Yeah. All right, let me see if there are any other things that we want to get to. All right, I can bring the comments back up, thankfully. Hey, Mize370 says, make even more donations. Let's see, put your hair up too, Russ and Bundy.
Well, I don't. I mean, my hair is short. It's really short right now. There's not much I can give unless I let it grow out again. Yours would be a good one.
I'm probably going to chop my hair off this Saturday. I think there's a good chance the lettuce is going to go away. It's gotten out of control. Very out of control. Now, let's recap one last time. Dan Vladar tonight, sensational.
Yep.
Travis Sanheim, huge moment.
Yep. Nice
Fourth
goal.
line, which we talked a lot about pregame, ended up having a really good game.
Yep.
On the whole. And now you look ahead to Saturday's game, which is the Flyers' last home game of the month. Once the Flyers game is over on Saturday, they're not back in this building again until December.
Yeah.
Is that crazy? I mean, I know Thanksgiving's next week, and so it might not seem that ridiculous, but feels like
We're the Flyers next week. They think they have New Jersey Saturday. Then they play, is it Wednesday? They're on the road, right?
Yeah, so it goes, they are home against the Devils, and then they are at Tampa, at Florida, at the Islanders, at Devils.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's Lightning and Panthers.
The Islanders are a wagon right now.
Yeah. So it's going to be a tough slog. 4-game road trip. We'll see how that goes. Who do you think will be a net, by the way, on Saturday? Do you go back to Vladar?
You're going to have to play Urson probably twice in those games.
Oh, boy. All right, which games?
2 out of the 4.
Which games are you going to play Urson?
You're not going to play him Saturday.
Okay.
If you have the back-to-back with Florida and Tampa, he'll get one of those games. Doesn't he play well?
Florida and Tampa is 2 nights apart.
2 nights apart. What is that, Monday, Wednesday?
There's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So it's actually Islanders, Devils just
Monday,
back-to-back.
Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So Erson's got to get one of Islanders, Devils. Has to. Are you going to play him in Tampa? Well, if you go to Vladar on Saturday, do you go to Erison against Tampa?
No, you're going to try to get Vladar in against the Islanders. They're playing better than anybody in the league right now.
All right.
That's the way I look at it. So, okay. I mean, maybe you can roll Vladar. Maybe you go Saturday, Monday, Wednesday. I don't know. That's a lot, though.
That does seem like a lot.
And then you go because then you
got Vladar. You would think Friday.
Yes,
Friday against the Islanders.
He's definitely got to play against the Islanders unless Sam's got some great numbers against.
So then, do you go Vladar against Tampa? I'm thinking that they probably play Vladar on Saturday, right? You would you would kind of expect. Could they like in 2 days? Could they go to Ayrson against the Devils?
I don't think so.
Okay, so if you go to Vladar on Saturday, do you go Monday, Friday with Vladar?
Yes.
All right, so Monday, Friday. So Ayrson against the Panthers and the Devils.
Yeah, that would probably be my guess. Yep.
Interesting. Yeah. All right, we'll see how that goes. Now, just really quick, we talked about this pregame. We had Frank Saravalli on the show yesterday. So that was Wednesday night. We did Snow the Goalie radio at Chickies and Pete's on Roosevelt Boulevard in the Northeast. Saravalli was on. We talked about the rebuild, and I would highly encourage people. I saw clips going around, even from people that don't typically like us or our show. We're clipping up the Saravalli part of the show. I'd highly encourage people to go check that out. It's available over on YouTube, Facebook, X, wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, all the wonderful podcast apps out there. Check that show out. Let us know what you think. You'll probably see clips going across TikTok and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Hit those with a like as well. We will be back in this building on Saturday. And then next Tuesday, not Wednesday, next Tuesday, we'll be doing Snow the Goalie radio from Chickies and Pete's at Parks Casino in Bensalem. That's in Bensalem. So Parks Casino, Chickies and Pete's at Parks Casino next Tuesday night, 6 o'clock. If you have nothing going on, I mean, obviously, people are going to have some stuff going on, right? Next week is Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Save yourself having to make dinner on Tuesday night. Come on out, have some crab fries, have some mussels. Bundy,
where are we Tuesday?
Tuesday, Parks Casino.
Yeah, but they don't have a Chickies in there, do they?
Yeah, there. Yeah.
Oh, is that where we're doing it
that's
from?
That's where, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What's your order at Chickies?
I get the clam chowder, the peel and eat shrimp, and the pizza. It's called the Bundy.
He eats like a boss.
Yeah, boss level.
I like to do the crab cake and the crab fries.
So there is a Chickies and Pete's at Parks Casino.
There is. That's where we're doing the show on Tuesday.
Right.
So 6 o'clock. I can imagine Bundy with a map and maybe a magnifying glass. Where is this place? All right. It'll be a lot of fun. But before that, we're back here at the Xfinity Mobile Arena on Saturday. So do us a favor if you haven't done so already. Like the video, share the video, subscribe. If you ring the bell over on YouTube, you'll get notified whenever we go live with the show. So big thank you to everybody who found us tonight. We hope to see you again on Saturday and then next Tuesday. Until then, for Bundy, for Anthony SanFilippo somewhere in this building, for intern Andrew, whose head will be shaved, I'm Russ. Talk to all of you very, very soon. Join the Russ Joy Show on Friday. Let's talk some puck, maybe a few other things. All right, we're out of here.
See you,
Have a great night, everybody.
Have a good night.